Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Bryce Jones here. We are starting off with a winter weather advisory across our area right now. And obviously, we've got some snow falling across our area, right? Heading into work. I mean, you can see it is a snow globe across parts of the area right now. Before we dive into it, I know you probably got snow falling at your house. If you could, please hit like to share. Hit like to share. Goodness. Like the stream, share the stream. We can get this out to as many people as possible because a lot of people are driving through Louisville right now and they're like, whoa, it was dry 2 minutes ago. And now we've got snow falling across our area. So again, I'll give people a couple minutes to hop on in here, hop in, say hello. What's up, Karen Barnes on YouTube? Thank you for watching this evening. A little bit of a different time slot for me tonight. I'm working for Matthew Wine tonight, and then I'm back on the morning show tomorrow morning. Lucky me, right? We got a lot of snow falling across our area right now, so it may catch some of you off guard. We've got some covered roads already. So if at any time you have any reports from around our area, if you have accumulation, if you see what the roads look like out of your home, out on some streets, please just let me know, and we will go ahead and hop into it. So we have the winter weather advisory right now going until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it was a good idea by the National Weather Service to go ahead and include Louisville in this. And it's not really for a lot of accumulating snow because we're not going to see a lot out of this, but it's more so for the impacts, right? If you're heading out there right now, I mean, it's going to get a little slick pretty quick out there because of the rate that the snow's coming down. It's a little windy out there as well, so you are going to lose a little bit of that visibility when you're out there as well. So that includes Louisville, and in Kentucky, it includes Shelby, Henry, Oldham, Trimble, and Carroll County as well in Kentucky. And all of our Indiana counties except for Crawford and Harrison are included in that also. So what's it look like right now? Well, if you're in Louisville, I don't have to tell you it's snowing outside. Just look out your window. It's pretty. It's a pretty snow. You know, it's especially if you're inside and you're not driving in it. And this is coming across our area. So again, a lot of this is going to come down pretty heavy. So we're going to zoom in on a couple locations here. I got a couple people saying the volume might be a little low, so I'm just going to talk a little louder. Not sure what's up with that, so we'll just talk a little louder. Volume's good for John Hamilton. Okay, cool. So if you're in Louisville, let me know what you're seeing. If you're not in Louisville, also let me know what you're seeing. If you got any accumulation, what the roads look like, and we'll go ahead and hop into it. Shameless plug, if you don't follow me on Facebook, meteorologist Bryce Jones. It's a picture of me on a cruise ship. So it shouldn't be too hard to find. Like my page, you can get all the updates whenever I go live, either on my page or wherever. You can get all the updates from my page as well. Shameless plug. All right, enough about me. Let's dive into it. So nice heavy band rolling across Metro Louisville right now. So a lot of data actually didn't even have this reaching the Louisville area. But now it's pushing its way on through, and it got through just enough to where it is going to put down some minor accumulation out there. If you saw Matthew Wine's accumulation map this morning, I didn't look too much at it because I was dealing with a toddler at 7 a.m., as you can imagine. But everywhere should still see less than an inch is what we had this morning. And while this is a quick hitter, it can still make way for some slick roads. Just because you don't get high accumulation does not mean that you're not going to see some impacts out there. Especially with the roads as they start to deteriorate a little bit, because when the snow comes down this heavy and it's this cold already, you're going to get some slick spots. And on my way into work, I can tell you, I was out about 20 minutes ago. You can already start to see some coverings out there. So when we look at a few specific locations, pretty much all of Metro Louisville is stuck in this heavy band of snow right now. And it's coming down pretty good. Again, you're going to lose some of that visibility out there. Around most of our area. So nice darker shading here over Shively down through Dixie. If you're traveling on Dixie or you're about to, look, I travel Dixie every single day. It's bad enough when it's dry. So you can imagine when there's a quick little coating on the road, what it's going to be like. So a lot of these back and side roads will probably get a quick covering on them. When you get on the interstates, it may not be as bad, but you're also traveling at a higher rate of speed. So you're going to lose a little bit more of that visibility compared to if, say, we were talking about on the side roads when you're traveling a little slower. So across our area, the Snyder is getting pelted with a lot of that heavy snow right now. It's going up onto the east end of Louisville. Nice heavy kind of pocket here, and I'll kind of circle it for you. You can see what I'm talking about. Going right through 64, coming over through Eastwood, heading over to Todd's Point outside of Jefferson County. So right along that 64 Snyder interchange, it's coming down pretty good right now. I mean, and it's not just there. I mean, a lot of Metro Louisville is seeing this. Downtown, you get closer to Nulu, heading up toward Prospect. It's starting to get a little lighter now. This is the main show. All right, I don't think anything back here behind it is going to end up being really heavy. You can see it's more of that light, powdery snow. But what's moving through Louisville, I mean, it's a legit little squall there. The heaviest portion of this, though, is moving through south and southeast Louisville. So we're talking Fairmount, Seatonville, Rote. You're going to Fisherville. Basically anywhere south of the Snyder and east of 65. So we're talking about like Cooper Chapel, Mount Washington Road, heading over to Indian Falls, Cooper Farms area, over toward like Independent School Road. Thinking of a few more locations out that way. Southeast Louisville, you're getting hit with a lot of that heavy snow right now. So watch out on these back roads, especially for the heavier snow that's coming on down. Again, it's not going to last very long, and this is quick accumulation we're talking about, but it's just enough to where it's going to cause some traffic issues. I can almost guarantee it. I'll look at Trimark here in a minute, and we can dial into that a little bit more. But you see to the north of that, it is starting to lighten up a little bit. So the heaviest stuff in the main show is rolling through Louisville right now. We're talking all the way through Shelby County. Eminence, LaGrange, you're going to start to lighten up now. Anywhere north of the Waterston, you're going to start to lighten up that snow a little bit. And the heaviest portion is moving right along and south of the Snyder currently. You guys let me know what you're seeing around our area and what the roads look like in your area. I'm going to take a couple of looks at your all's responses and comments before we start getting into the Arctic cold that's rolling into our area tomorrow, because who wants to hear about that, right? All right, let's see. Snowing heavy in Clarksville. Yep, so Clarksville's on that northern edge now, to where you can see here that should start to come down a little bit in some of that intensity. So that should help out a little bit. Less than a half inch in eastern Clark County. Thank you very much, Caroline. We appreciate that. All these snow reports really help us out in kind of figuring out what's falling. Because, I mean, I can look at radar all day long. But, I mean, unless you're out there, you don't really know what's coming down, really for sure. You know what I mean? Georgetown, Indiana, getting more snow tonight. So, Dwayne, Georgetown, the main show is over. But there is some more of that light snow on the back side of that's still coming down a little bit. So let me switch my mouse over here real quick so I can give you a better idea. So there's Georgetown. All of this that's up here near Palmyra, Pierce, Hardensburg, this is still coming down a little bit, and some of it may miss, but a lot of that is pretty light. The heavy snow band that's rolling through Louisville right now is the main show, and is what's going to cause most of our problems if we do see any out on the roadways this morning or this evening. See, this is what I'm talking about. Cindy Cushman on Facebook. Thank you. St. Matthews has a centimeter or two. It's a quick accumulation. It's less than an inch, like what we've been talking about the last few days, but it is enough to where it's going to coat some of those roads and add in a few slick spots. So this isn't like a big time, oh my gosh, stay inside, stay inside. But, I mean, if you don't have to travel right now, wait till that main band gets on out of here, and it should improve pretty quickly. Thank you for sharing this. No problem, Connie. Sherry on Facebook, at what outside temp should I drip the water in my older house? Good question. I'm going to get to that in just a little bit, Sherry, so stick with me here. Nothing in Okolona yet. That was a few minutes. That was about 5-6 minutes ago. Okolona, you're getting hit with some good snow now, I'm sure. Snowing pretty good in Audubon Park. Sellersburg coming down steady, accumulating quickly, big heavy flakes. Yep. So when it's not like super, super cold, you get a lot of the really thick and kind of wet, heavy snow, right? The snowflakes that are kind of like, they stick to your windshield and it like splats out and it melts like that. I guess that's kind of a way you could do it. But when it gets super cold, when Arctic air rolls on in, that's when you get the really flaky light snow that doesn't accumulate as quickly as the wet, heavy snow does, which is what we've got out there right now. Snowing in PRP, Jessica Bard, Spencer County. No, Nick, we're not all cooked, man. We're all right. Oh, man. You guys are funny. Smithfield getting a steady snow right now. Fern Creek. All right, so if you're just joining, I'll get the chat out of the way so you can see it a little bit better here. I'll hop onto radar one more time And I'll do this a couple times so we can really get a good look at it. See who's seeing the heaviest snow right now. So the heaviest band right now is rolling south of the Snyder, right by my big old head right there. Fairmount, Route, Fisherville, Eastwood, Simpsonville, Shelbyville. You're getting a good amount of that right now. And there's another little pocket of heavy snow that's kind of right behind that main band. It's a little hard to see, but if your brightness on your phone's turned up, you may be able to see that little darker shading there. And another one right here. So these are the two main bands of snow that are rolling into our area right now. Those are the two heavier ones. So the comment about Ottoman Park seeing pretty good heavy snow right now, you're seeing that. I had a comment about Fern Creek. You go down toward the Fern Creek area, and again, you're in that kind of in between. It's going to get heavy again here in about 5 to 10 minutes. Snowing in Valley. Jesse McGuire on YouTube. Thank you for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm always curious. Do you have us pulled up on your TV or are you watching on your phone? Usually if I'm watching YouTube, I'll pull it up on my TV. Snowing in Highview and wind is picked up. Yeah, so the wind's picking up along this as it's rolling its way on by. That's what's helping reduce a lot of the visibility. So if you got any of those winter blow-ups up right now, me, for instance, you may want to unplug them, at least for a little bit as this is rolling its way on in. Since I didn't work this morning, I didn't look at a lot this morning because I got a toddler to do it with at home. So I was like, yeah, I'll clear the snow off my my snow blow-ups and put it up before I leave for work. And then the wind picked up when I got to work, and I was like, oh. So put them down for now, and then until that wind starts to lighten up a little bit by tomorrow morning, really by Sunday. Charlestown, Indiana has about an inch so far. Thank you for that, Nate Woods. I appreciate that. Nothing in Radcliffe. So Melody Radcliffe is kind of in that weird spot now. To where you're going to get a little more clipped with it than anything. So you can see Radcliffe down here. And when we play it back a little bit here, you may get a few flakes, but you're not going to get the main show that's rolling through Louisville. In fact, what's moving through Louisville is kind of moving southeast. So all of this is like heading this way. So if you're directly south of Louisville, you're not going to get as much as, say, Metro Louisville's getting right now. All right, so let's take a look at a few cameras around our area. Downtown Louisville right now, you can see the lower visibility. You can see the temperatures are creeping their way on down pretty quickly. As this snow is rolling its way on in here, I'll get my big head out of the way here so you can see. So north wind 13, it feels like 16 with that wind chill. Folks, by tomorrow morning, it's going to feel a lot colder than this. As that snow continues to roll its way on in. A little bit of a winter wonderland up in Seymour right now. That temperature is not correct, but you will notice a lot of those roads are still coated up there in the Seymour area right now. As this is making its way on through, especially since it's up in southern Indiana for a lot longer. You can see the scene of what it looks like up in Seymour right now. Let's go down Hardin County and E-Town. Things are pretty dry, and this is what I'm talking about, to where if you're directly south of Louisville, you're probably not going to get the main show that Louisville is getting right now. Let's jump over to Bardstown, another example there, to where things are mainly dry. You go over to Corden, you're going to have a little bit more snow on the ground, but you see a lot of that, what's accumulated, has already melted on the roof there in the main town center. So these are quick-hitting accumulations, but it can still cause some minor traffic problems with some of these roads that are going to get covered up pretty quick. Destiny Brooks on Facebook, is this snow a concern for tomorrow as the temps will get cold? So in some ways I would say yes, some ways I would say no. It's going to get so cold that some of this could refreeze overnight. So if you are traveling overnight, traveling early tomorrow morning, I will be back into the station for the morning show tomorrow. We could see that develop into a few more slick spots of what does not melt. So that would be kind of the main concern with that for tomorrow. I'm going to pull up Trimark's website right now while all of us are sitting here. And I'm going to see if there's any kind of big issues around our area. So there's a lot of yellow going on. There doesn't look like there is any major issues. Right at the Snyder approaching Westport Road. So the Snyder up near Springhurst, northbound approaching Westport Road. There is a crash there. No visual on it, so you can't tell how many lanes or if any lanes are closed. So other than that, just a couple disabled vehicles. Folks are taking it pretty slow, which is good to see. But up in this area, right up in here, northbound approaching Westport Road on the Snyder, watch out for a wreck there and watch out for some of those lower visibilities as you're heading out. Coming down in Greenville, Indiana. Did I say meow on YouTube? I like that name. Oh, man. Let's see. YouTube on laptop. Bryce, Pendleton, Kentucky, seeing about a half-inch sticking on roads. Yeah, these quick hitting and everything is going to be less than an inch more than likely, but it still can cause some impacts, which is why the National Weather Service put Louisville in that winter weather advisory, which kudos to them for that. Big kudos to them. Close to J Mall. The grass is covered. The road is a bit bad, also a bit covered in snow. That's what a lot of us are going to end up seeing, is a lot of this is going to cover more like the grassy areas, elevated areas, but it can put a quick coating and make some roads slick in Louisville. I posted a video on my Facebook here in downtown. You can hop over. It's Meteorologist Bryce Jones on Facebook, and you can see what it looked like in Louisville about an hour ago as that was really starting to pour its way on down here. All right, so we're going to jump into cold discussion. I know I had a couple of people ask me about what the cold was going to look like heading into our area. Do I need to cover the spouts outside the spouts outside? Do I need to cover the pipes? And especially if you're in an old home, I don't think it's a really bad question. Actually, on my way to work this evening, I picked up at Lowe's a couple of those like styrofoam covers that you put over your spigots outside. I picked up a couple more of those, and I'm going to put it on my spigots when I get home tonight, just in case. You can never be too sure. And you're not using the outside hose this time of the year anyway, so you can go ahead and cover it up. But speaking of the cold, we have a cold weather advisory. This is what wind chill advisories and wind chill warnings used to be. This was replaced a couple of years ago, if you're wondering what in the world that is. So we have a cold weather advisory starting at 1 a.m. tonight and going until 1 p.m. tomorrow morning. So that 12-hour window there for some dangerous cold that's going to be rolling into our area heading into tonight. And those winds are going to pick up, as some of you mentioned earlier. So you're going to start to feel some of that a little bit, especially by tomorrow morning. It's going to be really cold by tomorrow morning. I haven't even dove completely into my own forecast yet. I've just been watching Jude and Mark the last couple of days while I've been off, and I'm going to be diving into that here once we get off this live here in a minute. So if you want an updated look at what the cold is going to look like tomorrow, I'll be live on WDRB News at 10 and 11 tonight, in for Matthew Wine, excuse me. So be sure to tune in for that later on this evening. So anyway, all right, we got the cold weather advisory tonight, and here's why. So that snow's moving through now, and you see how data kind of undermined how far into Louisville it was going to get, but it did pick up on most of that being to our east. By 9:30, it's got us at 23. By 1 a.m., it's got us at 17. Yeah, well, it's going to get worse. Let's keep going. Oh, man, we're down to 14 by 3 a.m. It's still going. You see a little bit of clearing in there. That's going to allow it to get even colder. We're dragging in with the wind as well. That's called cold air advection, to where by tomorrow morning, we're probably going to be in the single digits across most of, if not our entire area, especially in southern Indiana. It is going to be cold tomorrow morning, folks. Very cold. And then tomorrow afternoon, to be honest with you, is not much better. If you don't have to be outside tomorrow afternoon, I would recommend not. Even while we could have some sun in there, I don't think many of us, if any of us, will be out of the teens tomorrow. And it's going to feel colder than that through the day as well. And you can see it just doesn't get much better. Even with sunshine in there, it's going to be a cold day. The good thing is that we're not expecting a lot of snow tonight. So this was the snow map from this morning that Matthew shared. Again, under at 1 inch is what most of us are going to end up seeing out of this. But it is causing some issues out there now. So I figured I would go ahead and hop on here just for a little bit and share what's moving through the metro, especially if you're heading out. You got any late night runs, midnight snacks going around? Your wife's making you go to Dairy Queen, guys, at like 8 o'clock at night. Been there, done that. Be careful. Watch out for some slick spots out there. All right, we'll take a couple more questions, then we'll hop off. I don't want to be on here for too long. Got to get ready for the show later on tonight. Thank you for the updates. Thank you, Amanda. Jay McLean on YouTube. Snow in the winter. What's happening? I know, right? It's crazy. It's a crazy thought. Livonia, Indiana. Judy, snowing there. Good coating to half inch here in Palmyra. Thank you, Sally Baker on Facebook, for that. Roads are covered. In Nelson County, I wouldn't expect much of anything. You may get some flakes flying around, but in terms of like accumulating snow, I wouldn't really expect too much out of this. It's just a mainly Louisville East event. Yeah, so the folks that work outside tomorrow, man, props to you. It's going to be a cold one. Someone mentioned like the people that get the carts at the grocery store. Woo! Yeah, if you have to work outside tomorrow, be sure you are putting multiple layers on. It's going to be really, really cold all day tomorrow. Road conditions tomorrow at 6 a.m. Have to drive to work. Hey, me too, Chris, and I got to be right back here early in the morning. Lucky us, right? So slick spots, absolutely a possibility. Some black ice, a possibility as well. It kind of depends on where you are. Louisville slick spots, Southern Indiana, you may still have some snow on the ground, but we're not talking about impassable roads or anything like that. Radcliffe, you may get a few flakes out of this, but you're not going to get what Louisville is getting. It's a little slick out there in Fern Creek and Hikes Point. Big snowflakes coming down. Thank you, Patty Durbin on Facebook. I appreciate that. Yeah, Southern Louisville right now is kind of getting the gist of this. You can kind of see there on radar over here next to me. I'm ready for a warm Christmas. Me and you too, Andrew. Me and you too. Big old fat flakes over at Magic Salt of Kentuckiana off South English Station Road. Yeah, again, it's coming down pretty good right now. That main band, the heavy band, is rolling through like Mount Washington now over to Whitfield, and then there's another one right behind it, and really it's just kind of all one big band there. That little break right on the Snyder may just be kind of the radar as it scans by. It's coming down pretty heavy right now through Buchwell, through J-Town, through Newburgh. We'll zoom in on a couple very tight locations here. So maybe I mentioned your neighborhood or maybe even your street. Poplar Hills, Watterson Park, Buchwell, Houston Acres, Hurstbourne Acres. There's a new radar update. It's kind of moving a little south now. J-Town, Fern Creek, Highview, Newburgh, Okolona, Smyrna, Outer Loop, Cooper Chapel, Preston Crossings, Peniel, Stone Street, Bear Camp Road, Newcut, Fairdale, Auburndale, Heritage Creek. You get the gist. That's where most of this is rolling on by. So up and out into a lot of West Louisville, you're starting to dry out now, and the snow that's coming next should be fairly light, but it can add to a little bit of that coating that's already out there. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But the main show is rolling through our area now. Fairdale, you're getting the gist of it. Same thing over through Smyrna. A lot of you guys are getting kind of the main gist of this as it's rolling through our area. I'm going to see if I can pull up a couple traffic cameras. I'm not sure if I can, but we're going to try to see if we can do it. Maybe we can get a couple mics, cameras in here. We might be able to. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and get a couple more questions here. Bots. We got a lot of Bots fans in here. Oh, boy. Owensboro is clear. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Annette. It's coming down hard, Mount Washington. Yep, Jacob, you're one of the locations I just mentioned a second ago with that coming on down. All right, let's take a couple cameras here if I can get them to pull up. I don't know if I can. If not, I'll give you another update on traffic here in just a minute. So you guys can kind of get a good idea of what traffic is looking like if you have to head out anytime soon, and what that is actually looking like out there right now, because a lot of our area is continuing to see. So now I can't pull up the traffic. Oh, yeah, I can. There we go. So there's a Snyder at Newcut right now. Hard to see. Obviously, it's dark, but things seem to be moving at least pretty smoothly out there, even though it is going slow. And you look at the bottom right here, down by this light, you see how heavy it's coming down there? Snyder at Newcut. It's the South Louisville that we're talking about. And you can see on the other side there, right next to my head, right here, how slow those cars are going. It's going to be a slow drive this afternoon. Here's what the Watterson looks like at Poplar level. You can see some minor accumulation there on the interstate. So take it slow. The interstate will probably be better than the side roads. This isn't like what we saw last week in the morning time. But this still can cause some issues. So definitely take it slow out there. I'll try to pull up a couple more traffic cameras here in just a sec. And we can get a little bit of a better look at a couple more of those locations out there, especially the interstates. Bardstown, don't expect too many travel problems around your area. A lot of this is going to be Louisville and then east of 65 mainly. Not entirely, but mainly, I would say. That's what a lot of our area is going to end up seeing. Fern Creek, Kelly Smith on Facebook, you're seeing that accumulation fall right now. You're getting the brunt of it now. The show's happening, and it should start to lighten up a little bit the further that we start to go over the next about 20 to 30 minutes or so. All right, take a couple more looks here. Here is I-64 near Slugger Field. All right, that's I don't know what that's looking at. So it's looking at the bridge, obviously. Maybe we might have a wreck on the bridge. All right, we do. So breaking news live here on the stream, folks. That look at the Clark Memorial Bridge. Southbound lanes coming down the 2nd Street Bridge. Left lane is blocked. So if you have to come from Indiana into Kentucky and you're avoiding the toll, it's going to be a slow drive. This is what we're talking about with just a little bit of a coating, especially on these bridges, these overpasses, these elevated surfaces. They're going to be pretty slick, and they can accumulate a lot easier. So that is the 2nd Street Bridge, southbound lane, the left lane, or the southbound, lanes. The left lane particular is blocked. Hard to kind of see it there, but you can notice some police lights in the picture there. So I'm glad I pulled that up and noticed that. Again, that's on the Kennedy Bridge. And then we talked about that wreck over at on the Snyder, approaching Westport Road. So the Snyder northbound at Westport Road, the right lane is blocked because of a wreck there. Everywhere else just moving slow. Again, just take your time out there, folks. It comes down to common sense in these cases and scenarios. So, all right, we'll take a couple more questions and we'll hop off here. I got to get ready to go and shoot some intros for the show at 10. So be sure to join me on air at 10 o'clock. Please remember to bring in the fur babies. Yeah, bring in your pets tonight, folks. Don't make them sleep outside, especially by tomorrow morning. It's gonna be pretty cold by tomorrow morning. Took me almost 3 hours to get home from Indianapolis. Thomas Church says there's a little bit better look at that wreck, by the way. Mark's kind of fixing that camera some there. So the left lane going from Indiana to Kentucky is closed on the 2nd Street Bridge. Chances for refreezes and issues Monday morning. Of course, there could be some slick spots. Oklahoma Hillview area, big heavy snowflakes, beautiful stuff. It is really pretty, especially if you're not out driving in it, right? Let's see. Gonna go out, got to go and plow again in the OC at Oldham County. Yeah, so a lot of what's falling again is minor accumulation in Louisville, but it's obviously, it's causing issues on the 2nd Street Bridge. That left lane is closed. So be sure to take it slow out there this evening, folks, as the snow's rolling its way on down. The left lane, again, is blocked there on the 2nd Street Bridge if you are coming into Kentucky. The rest of the interstates look okay, but they are moving very, very slow at the moment, as you can imagine. With some of these minor accumulations that are falling across our area. All right, we'll take one more look at radar, and then I got to get out of here. So Louisville, you're starting to see the main show coming to an end, but it is not said and done just yet because some of that snow on the other side of the river is also on the way. So some of this stuff up here, Georgetown, Greenville, Palmyra, Martinburg. If there's anybody in any of these locations, can you let me know how heavy that snow's falling right now? Greenville, Borden, Palmyra, Georgetown. You're starting to see it. Memphis, Indiana, Charlestown. Let me know how heavy it is. The radar is not it's really signifying that it's as heavy as what's moving through South Louisville right now. So the Watterson North, the main show's over. In between the Watterson and the Snyder, it's coming to an end. South of the Snyder, you're kind of in the brunt of it for the moment. Bullitt County getting a good gist of this. Now moving into Spencer, Washington, and kind of Washington, mainly Spencer, Shelby County, and moving out of Oldham County now. Left Salem Walmart at 6:30. Roads were fine. Left Circle K at 6:45. Roads were getting covered and slick already. Yeah, it happens quick, especially with these little quick and heavy systems that roll through our area really, really fast. All right, a couple more questions, and then I got to hop off here so I can go get ready for the 10 o'clock show. Again, if you are watching, You can follow me on Facebook, meteorologist Bryce Jones. Just hit like, hit follow. And then I'll be on air again at 10 and 11 tonight. Henryville, Indiana, about 2 inches. There you go. It's a sharp cutoff there. Yeah, so I'll take a look at some temperatures. I'm going to take another look at data. I haven't looked fully at data myself, to be completely honest with you yet, since I didn't work this morning. But I'm going to take another look at data, and we're going to take a fresh look at it and give you a brand new update live on WDRB News at 11, or at 10 and 11. I'll be in for Matthew Wine tonight, and I'm back on the morning show with Raina tomorrow. So, again, meteorologist Bryce Jones on Facebook. You can find me there. Until then, take care.